Hello. Okay. Right. Thank you for being here, and it's great to be here. Honoured to be at TED. A few weeks ago, I was talking to my admin manager, and out of nowhere, we were just mid-conversation, and I heard the sound of water pouring into a glass, and I was baffled because we were the only two people in the room, and I asked, "Did you hear that as well?" To which she responded, "Yes, it's a new app I've got on my iPhone, which reminds me to drink water every 30 minutes." A client of mine, Fred, recently got himself an Apple Watch. And last week, he was telling me all about it, and he was very proud. And he said that if he sat down for more than an hour, a little alarm would go off on his watch to remind him to get up and start moving around. And one of my trainers, Nigel, tracks his sleep nightly on his phone as well. And every morning upon waking up, he gets given a little report and a percentage score on the quality and duration of his recuperation throughout the night. And so far, he says to me, his best score has been about 75%. Now, depending on your viewpoint, you may find that these things, or may think that these things, are either fantastic and innovative, or amazing that we've got to this stage in our society where we need to rely on technology to allow us, or to remind us even, to carry out the most basic of human functions. We live in an age where it could be argued there's more opportunity to be active and exercise than ever before, or certainly in recent history. But paradoxically, we also live in a time where there's more temptation to stay at home and do absolutely nothing. In 2011, the Department of Health released a report entitled Sedentary Behaviour and Obesity, and it states that sedentary behaviour is not simply a lack of physical activity, but it's a cluster of individual behaviours where sitting or lying is the dominant mode of posture and energy expenditure is very low. Sedentary behaviour for adults is associated with all-cause and cardiovascular mortality, diabetes, some types of cancer, and metabolic dysfunction. I believe that we need to strike a balance in modern society between technology and minimalism. And we need to get more people simply moving again. Now, if we imagine that over here, we have an individual totally immersed in technology, not necessarily you, sir, so I just caught my eye, okay, totally plugged into the new world, online gaming, online dating, online shopping, Netflix, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Skype meetings online, working from home online. How many people in the room here have seen the movie WALL-E from Pixar? Anyone? Oh, loads of you. Good. Where humans in the future have basically atrophied all their muscles and bones through inactivity and fly everywhere on big hover chairs. Now, if you venture into Chelmsford High Street on a Saturday afternoon, and probably many other high streets around the country as well, you'll see that some people are 90% there. They're just shuffling around, waiting for the hover chairs. Now, if we look at the other side, we have swampy, or a hippie commune. Again, I don't know why I'm looking at you, sir, okay? Self-sufficiency, yoga, meditation, organic food. Now, for the majority of people, I think they have to find a space in the middle, but with an increased physicality and awareness. As a close friend of mine said last week when we were sitting down, are you seeing what I'm seeing? You are. Good. Most people today are high on cheesecake and Albert Square. Now, the last big report on the prevalence of overweight and obesity in the UK was done in 2013. And at that time, 62.1% of the adult population of England were either overweight or obese. They also made predictions that by 2050, obesity, which is classified as having a BMI of 30 plus, will affect 60% of men, 50% of women, and 25% of children. The report I mentioned earlier from the Department of Health speaks specifically about technology. Research generally shows that sedentary lifestyles are greatly influenced by increasing technological interaction and involvement. Research on television and video game use by children and adolescents tends to show associations with obesity that increase sedentary lifestyle. That increased sedentary lifestyle often has positive correlations with obesity. And they went on and spoke specifically about some of the technological trends that we're having at the moment and we have been seeing for the last 5 years or so. Work and leisure have become increasingly technologized, which is a word I've never used before and will probably never use again, for both adults and children. Activities that were once done in an external environment, such as an amusement arcade or a cinema, or if you think about shopping as well, can now be done in-home and/or work. And this has led to cocooning, which is a really lovely way of summing it up, but it's quite nasty because really majority of activities can actually take place in the home or at work without you ever having to leave. Now, for decades, science fiction authors have been envisioning the end of mankind due to some kind of artificial intelligence. And just like in the movie Terminator, there's another one coming out in a few weeks. Arnold's now 68 and still going strong. The machines gained an awareness and fought back against humanity. Now, I think in some ways technology is starting to kill us, but in far more creeping and subtle ways, so it goes unnoticed and under the radar. We were built to move, born to move, whatever you believe. And the more we move, the better we function. Everybody has to be able to do certain things in life. You have to be able to run away from a tiger, or a dog, maybe nowadays, and also sit on your toilet, okay? Possibly with a laptop and a bowl of cereal like the chap in the photo. There were certain fundamental movements that we developed the ability to do and certain skills that we acquired that enabled us to evolve and to last as long as we have. As a species, we're starting to lose the ability to perform those movements and to carry out those skills. If you think about something so basic as a nice deep squat. Now, if you look at people in African and Asian cultures and things, it's quite comfortable to sit in this position for long periods of time, even in their 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s plus years old, and prepare food or play with children or whatever. So many people I see nowadays really struggle to get into this position and keep their heels flat on the floor and sit down. So in the next break, if you want to come and see me, we can have a little look. But you also see toddlers. They'll move around just without even thinking. Boom, do something here, stand back up and move on. As a species, we're losing the ability to do those things. Modern society and technology is systematically eroding our need for movement. If you think about developments in technology, right back to the Flintstones era, what they really are is they're developments in, or they're activity-saving devices, or labor-saving devices, or energy-saving devices. So if you think about the wheel, which became the bike, which became the motorbike, or a car, or technology that we just have around our home, such as the remote control, which we're all using today, the washing machine, running water in the tap, the microwave, the escalator. Don't know how many people have escalators in their home, but it was on the slide. So, what they really are is they're reducing the amount of human effort or energy required to produce a result. Another way of looking at them is, as well as being labor-saving devices or energy-saving devices, they're also calorie-storing devices. Because if you think about the amount of energy it takes you to use your electric lawnmower in the garden compared to your old-fashioned, oh, so it's a horse, petrol lawnmower, yeah, that was a engine revving up, with a large 15-kilo metal roller on the back, is a lot different. You expend far less calories loading and unloading a dishwasher than you did when you had to scrub and wash all the pots and pans and plates yourself. You expend less calories using your electric toothbrush than you did using your good old-fashioned version 1. There's virtually no part of modern society that technology hasn't totally engulfed or at least totally revolutionized, except for being human. As humans, we still need exactly the same stuff we needed 50 years ago, or 200 years ago, or 500 years ago. It just seems at the moment, in our most affluent, privileged, innovative, technological age, many people find it hard to get that basic stuff now and wade their way through the clutter and all the junk. Now, think back to some of your happiest memories. Just for a few seconds, just think about your happy memories. If you're anything like me, they'll include things like spending time with loved ones, time away from nature, time away from technology, sorry, in nature. What's going on? Away from things like emails and mobile phones and ringing phones. Things like possibly camping, sailing, picnics, swimming in the sea, snowboarding or skiing, barbecues with friends, cycling, walking, playing golf badly, or holidays. Motion creates emotion, and emotion creates experiences, and experiences create memories. So important. When you move, you feel differently, you think differently, you live differently. Just by a quick show of hands from people in this room, how many people spend the majority of their working day either sat down basically at a chair, at a desk? Probably like 80% or something. I should have said stand up if you spend most of your time sat down, but you can stay seated. Sitting down for extended periods of time has a profound effect on our bodies and consequently our minds as well. I thought there might be a chair laying. I have to just pretend. Imagine I'm on a chair. So if you spend a long time sitting down, what happens is, and this could be on a train, car, your desk at work, anywhere, the hamstrings at the back of your legs start to shorten because your knee's always bent. Your hip flexors here shorten. Your back gets tighter. Shoulders move forwards and your head moves forwards, especially if you're doing this all day. Yeah? Has a profound effect. But help is at hand. I don't know if any of you use... It's not a great picture because it looks like he's hovering without legs, but he's actually standing. It's a standing desk. Does anyone use a standing desk at all? Oh, one, two. Perfect. Okay, so standing desks are great because you're up. If you're up, as you can see with me, now that I'm up, I'm a bit more animated. If I was sitting down giving this talk, I wouldn't be moving as much. And just if you're on the phone, you're more likely to move around and talk. They've gone one step further now. I don't know if anybody use walking desks. I wouldn't recommend it. The lady in the picture has got high heels on, not very comfortable, I'd imagine. They've gone one step further. They've gone one step further now. So if you want to mix up your at-work exercise, and this is genuine, it's from a company in America, cycling desk. And that's from Kickstand Furniture Limited, cycling desks. But a client of mine saw all of this and about a month ago created his own at-home, more Blue Peter style standing desk. And he's used it for about the last month and he said it's totally changed his life. There it is. So if you see, the keyboard's at the perfect height for him to do his work. And the monitor is also at his head height. So as he's standing, it's totally height adjustable and it gets him out of doing the ironing as well. The UK government have produced guidelines for physical activity for all adults in the UK. Now, I can tell you, you can start reading that as I'm talking. I'll tell you, definitely most people don't do this. And I'd hazard a guess to say the majority of people in the room don't do this. Only because it's 2.5 hours of moderate exercise stroke activity per week and 2 days a week doing some form of strength or muscle building exercise. Yeah? Most people don't do it. And the reason why is to go from sedentary to that is a huge jump. That's a huge leap. Now, what many of you may have found, if you didn't previously exercise and you started exercise, or maybe you've tried to start exercise in the past and then relapsed from exercise, is to begin with, like doing anything new, it's pretty unbearable. And it's not just physically unbearable, it's mentally unbearable. You've got to step right out of your comfort zone. And you won't want to do it. But if you can keep with it just for a couple of weeks, it'll get a promotion to uncomfortable, which sounds lovely. And if it's uncomfortable, you may actually find that you'll push yourself a bit harder. You may sweat. You may actually start to develop a habit. And if you can stick with that habit for the next 4 to 10 weeks, you'll become unstoppable. And unstoppable is really the point where being active and exercising becomes a habit. And it's, if you stop doing it, you actually miss it. Now, I'm going to leave you with 4 pieces of advice that I want you to maybe take away. If you're already very active and you're already doing this stuff anyway, give it to someone who you love, who could do with some help, who you might be able to help, okay? Drink 2 additional glasses of water per day. How easy is that to do? Number 2, get up and walk about for an additional 10 minutes a day. Not 30 minutes a day, start with 10, and 10 will move to 20, and 20 will move to 30. Number 3, sink into that low hunter-gatherer squat as often as you can, as low as you can. And even if you've had hip replacements, knee replacements, there are alternative ways that you can get yourself back to being able to do this. And finally, have one low-tech or no-tech day each week, or even try and start with a half day. See, we are born and built to move. When we move more, our whole system functions better. You're one piece, body, mind, soul, spirit, whatever your religious or scientific beliefs. And one part of you affects all parts. If you eat crap, you're going to feel like crap. You're going to move crap, your health will start to be crap, your sleep will be crap, you'll look crap, your performance at work will be crap, your relationships with your partner will be crap, even your crap will look crap. Okay? Let's all just move a bit more and help those around us to do the same. And maybe we can avoid the Terminators and the hover chairs. Thank you.